Welcome. I can't say it's a very silent night because it is not. The Christmas cheer is in the air and we can hear people from everywhere. I especially welcome you and send you a big wave of love, relaxation, joy, wisdom for this Christmas. I wish you a very awakened, alive, conscious, and extremely ecstatic Christmas. Today's topic is mediocrity. And as the tagline said, mediocrity, I consider, is the silent human genocide, human intelligence genocide. What is mediocrity? If you look at just the root meaning of mediocrity, it means simply enough, merely adequate, just enough. And this just enough has become the state of mind, the state of functioning of an entire modern civilization. Just enough. Stay there. Keep the status quo. Keep the equilibrium. Keep what has been created and don't disturb it to the point of not allowing it to expand. An expansion is the natural flow of creation, is the natural flow of universe, is the natural flow of the cosmos. The cosmos was born out of a big bang, so we say. Even if it was born out of a big bang or not, yet the cosmos is expanding. It's like an explosion that is going outwards, like a ripple that is created when we throw a stone in the lake, which keeps going outwards. So the natural flow of life, of creation, is cycles. It is going outwards. It's expanding. The opposite of which, of course, is contraction, but expansion is important. So mediocrity is a stagnancy that is unnatural. And it's unnatural to human cause, to human consciousness, to human mentality, to human psyche, and even to its body. The human body also does not like stagnation. It's constantly moving, it's constantly in a flow. And that flow, whenever that flow gets stagnated, that's when we fall ill. So mediocrity is one of the greatest diseases, to the point of being a genocide, that humanity has encountered. How many places are you just enough, just surviving, just being there, not allowing yourself to expand? Mediocrity is something like, imagine that somebody brought us to a beautiful valley, and there's a wonderful bridge which has been built with a lot of effort. We don't know who built it, but we know that once we cross this bridge, we go over, there is something amazing waiting for us on the other side. Or simply to just go over the bridge because nobody wants to be on the bridge, only on the bridge. Imagine that we were crossing it over and somewhere halfway, somewhere on the way, on the bridge, someone got really scared. And it's out of that person's fear that we all stopped at the bridge and we stayed there. And then we built homes there. Then we built civilizations there. If you zoom out and look at it from a cosmic perspective, you find it hilarious. You find it so funny. If someone is looking from up above, they would look at that and say, hey, that's a bridge, you need to cross it over. This is not a place of settlement. But we have, out of fear, settled onto the bridge itself. The question is, where does mediocrity come from? What is the source of mediocrity? The source of mediocrity is control. The need to control. The need to have everything within the line of my vision, so that I'm not hit by anything unknown, unexpected. And where does the need to control come from? The need to control comes from fear. Fear is our basic primal instinct. It's an instinct in case we are in danger. It's to sense the danger. And it's an instinct to find out how we can save ourselves. But fear does not allow you to expand. Fear makes you retreat. Fear asks you to go and hide in a cave. Fear says, don't touch that. Fear says, don't go there. Fear is to save you from danger. Have we forgotten that not everything is dangerous? Not everywhere we need to be protected. Fear is a good emotion to have to protect us at certain places, certain spaces, but it is not an emotion that should drive us, that should rule our life, and that should decide who we will be in our life and where all we will go, what all we will do and build and have and receive. Where are the examples of fear, of control? Fear and control, if you look around, you will see the examples are everywhere. Our structures, our families, our religions, our governments, our bank balances, the insurances that we buy, these are all forms of control. And all these forms of control stem from fear. I'm not saying that you should not be doing all these things. I'm not asking you to drop your insurance. I'm not saying that we should not have governments. I'm not saying that we should not have religions. That's not the point here. The point is, let's go back. Let's take a step back and see, where does it come from? The need to control. And at this point of time, humanity is standing at a place where everybody is questioning, do we really need that much of control? But the question here is not about the control. The question here is about, what does control lead to? Control leads to mediocrity. What is mediocrity? Mediocrity is a decorated stagnancy. Imagine that you were supposed to expand. Imagine that you were supposed to travel outwards. You were supposed to go beyond. Imagine that you were speeding and somebody stopped your speed, made you stand somewhere. It could be somebody, it could be your own self, your own. You are the cause, or I am the cause of everything that I am. And then suddenly when I stand, and that's not in my nature, that's not my nature to stand still. My nature was to expand. So the restlessness that sets inside me because I am standing still now, I need to do something. So what do I start doing? I start to experience a stagnancy, and to avoid that stagnancy, I have to start to decorate it. So I decorate it with relationships, I decorate it with power play, I decorate it with money, with my shopping, with my toys that I can have, with politics, with sex, with addiction, with whatever helps me to not look at the restlessness that my stagnancy is creating in my life. And that stagnancy is nothing but a decorated mediocrity. Mediocrity has led me to stagnancy. And when you expand out and you look at what is the impact mediocrity has had on human modern civilization, you see its paralyzing effects. You see that the restlessness that it brought in created the wars and violences and the resentment, the anger, the frustration, the irritation. Because when something has to grow, when a plant has to grow and you keep thwarting it, you keep stopping its speed, there is going to be resentment. So where did all this resentment come from? Now, What throws you off, if not mediocrity? When mediocrity is not there, or when mediocrity is there, what challenges it? Love, abundance, a sudden spiritual satori, an awakening, an innocent child, play, art, creation. Because all these are phenomena that throw you off your control freakiness. That it's like a flood, it's like an explosion that completely blows away all the boundaries and walls that we have built to control something. And when you fall in love, it can be with anything and anyone. It can be with God, it can be with a person, it can be with a child, with a butterfly, with a flower, with a sunrise, with a sunset, anything. But when you fall in love, that vibration, that very vibration is about getting out of control, out of creating any kind of structure and form. That's what challenges mediocrity. So what have we done as a civilization, as modern civilization? We have controlled love. And in place of love, we have placed systems. Systems that work for us. The truth of the matter is, we are not mediocre people. We are not born mediocre. From the time that we are conceived, I'm not going to speak about the unknown aspects or the aspects that you don't see before we were conceived, the spiritual aspects. I will talk about the physical, quantifiable aspects. The moment we were conceived, the speed at which we developed is unfathomable. It's mind-boggling. It's God's speed. And then when we are born, our eyes are so wide open. These are the eyes of God's speed. These are the eyes of a very, very speedy person, a person who wishes to take in, to grasp, to expand, to move, to create, to be. And as we grow up, and this is the reason why we love small kids, why we love infants, why we love babies, why they look so beautiful and innocent, and why they create a sense of play in us, why they create gratitude in us, despite being extremely demanding and tiring. But as we grow up, all systems have been placed in such a way that our speed is reduced. And as it is reduced, stagnancy begins to set in. And as stagnancy begins to set in, we start to look for ways to avoid the restlessness that this stagnancy is creating. So if you are suffering from addiction, if you are suffering from depression, if you are suffering from restlessness, irritation, anger, aggression, resentment, it's not necessary that the cause of it is someone or something or a situation or a circumstance. The cause of it is your own choicelessness, your stagnancy. Where have you chosen? Where have you chosen the stagnancy? If you look at the universe, it isn't a control freak. Even an explosion has an order. Chaos has an order. There is a difference between control and order. Control comes from fear, order comes from freedom. So don't go about thinking that you don't want to operate from fear, so you don't want to have control, so that means you have to go berserk, that you go mad, that you have no boundaries, that you have no way of defining yourself or having borders. No. Boundaries, borders, all of these are not needed when you operate from fear. They are needed when you don't operate from fear, when you operate from freedom. They are not needed because freedom itself introduces you to an innate divine order that creates in you the consciousness, the awareness that is required to keep expanding. And this is why so many enlightened beings have asked us to meditate, to pray, to heal, to choose better, to choose expansion, to choose light and God, because that freedom introduces us to an order, and order is awareness. It is formed, it is there because of awareness. So I will end this session by asking you, look into your life and see how many structures do you have, and how many of those structures are stagnating. How many of those structures are born out of control and thus out of fear? And how many events, people, circumstances, situations, and choices do you have in your life that have come out of freedom and inner freedom? And because they have come out of an inner freedom, they have an order, and you love that order. I'm signing off. I am asking you, inviting you to the YouTube channel of Naval Consciousness. All these live sessions get edited and are available on the channel. Please subscribe. Please make me happy by subscribing and liking the videos. I'm here on Naval Consciousness Facebook Live every Saturday 9 p.m. and I look forward to it now. Leave a comment if you have liked this video. If you have a question, leave a comment again. I will try my best to answer it. And if you would like to in any way, if you resonate with me, and in any way, if you think Naval Consciousness or I can assist you in your expansion, then my channel is through Naval Consciousness workshops, sessions, and whatever I create through it. Go to my website, navalconsciousness.com, and you can see the workshops and all the options available. Meanwhile, sending you a huge wave of wisdom, relaxation, and joy for the coming Christmas and the New Year. Thank you.